If you think you don't need to prepare for Casper, you're making a huge mistake. Dr. Jubal, MedSchoolInsiders.com. Casper is a fast-paced, high-pressure exam that's evolved multiple times over the years and is designed to catch unprepared students off guard. You get one shot per application cycle, and a weak performance can tank your chances at med school acceptance. After helping over 10,000 students become doctors with a 97% medical school acceptance rate, we've seen firsthand what separates students who ace Casper from those who don't. Today, we're covering the 6-step preparation system that will help you walk into Casper confident and ready to perform. Plus, I'll show you how to leverage AI-powered feedback tools that stay up to date with the latest format changes so you're never practicing with outdated material. Before we begin, let's clarify what Casper actually measures. It's designed to evaluate who you are beyond your grades and test scores, your professionalism, social intelligence, empathy, and communication skills. Unlike the MCAT, which tests your science knowledge, Casper presents ethical dilemmas and interpersonal conflicts to see how you'd respond. Your final score is one of 4 quartiles based on where you stand compared to other test takers. There are no right or wrong answers, but there are definitely better and worse ways to approach each scenario. Most students assume Casper is just like any other standardized test. Show up, answer some questions, move on. That assumption costs them. Casper has evolved multiple times over the years. Students who prepare using outdated information get blindsided on test day. They expect 5-minute typed responses but get 3.5 minutes. They practice with the wrong number of scenarios, leading them to completely misjudge their pacing. I've seen it happen. A student prepares using outdated materials or incorrect information from AI or last year's Reddit or SDN threads. Or worse, they underestimate how important it is to practice in the actual test format. These aren't small mistakes. They derail your entire performance. Over the past 5 years, Acuity Insights, the creators of Casper, has completely revamped the test 4 separate times, and almost all pre-med resources and advising companies haven't updated their websites to provide students with the most accurate information. This means when you ask ChatGPT what to expect, it's pulling its information from dozens of outdated, inaccurate resources. Here's what you actually need to know. In 2026, Casper consists of 11 real-world scenarios, some word-based and some video-based, where you're presented with an ethical dilemma and asked what you'd do. The test is split into 2 sections, video responses and typed responses. In the video section, you'll see 4 scenarios. After each one, you answer 2 questions by recording yourself. You get 1 minute per question. When that minute ends, your response is automatically uploaded. No review, no re-recording, no changes. In the typed section, you'll see 7 scenarios. After each one, you answer 2 questions by typing. You get 3.5 minutes total for both questions. When time's up, or if you submit early, your responses are saved automatically. No going back. There are 2 optional breaks, a 10-minute break after the video section and a 5-minute break midway through the typed section. Use them to reset. But knowing the format is just the beginning, because Casper doesn't grade you like a typical test with right and wrong answers. Here's where most students tank their Casper score. They give black and white answers to ethically gray scenarios. You're in a classroom taking a test when you notice your friend Melvin cheating. What do you do? By the way, stick around to the end of this video where we'll break down 2 sample questions and how to answer them. Most students pick a side. I would immediately report Melvin because cheating is wrong, both decisive and judgmental. But Casper raters aren't looking for moral absolutism. They're looking for nuance, empathy, and critical thinking. Here's the shift. Use if-then conditional statements. Instead of picking a rigid answer, you show you can see multiple angles and adapt to the context. If this is the case, then I would do X. However, if this is the case, then I would do Y. This approach does 3 things. First, it shows you understand both sides of a situation. Second, it proves you think ahead and consider consequences. Third, it lets you add essential context that the intentionally vague scenario leaves out. Here's a strong answer to the Melvin scenario. I would confront Melvin after class and ask him to admit to the teacher that he cheated. If he refuses, then I will go to the teacher myself. However, if Melvin admits he cheated but explains a family member recently passed away, then I would offer to help him study and encourage him to talk to the professor about his situation. This way, you're not just picking a side, you're showing empathy, critical thinking, and the ability to adapt based on new information. But knowing what to say is only half the battle. You also need to deliver it confidently on camera. Most students think they know how they come across on camera. They don't. Students with solid answers who look terrified on camera. Students who mumble their way through or speak so fast that their words blur together. Students with excellent critical thinking who avoid eye contact the entire time, making them look evasive even though their content is strong. You only get 1 minute per video question. If you're fidgeting or looking uncomfortable, raters notice. Here's what you need to do. Record yourself and actually watch it back. Yes, it's painful. Do it anyway. Use photo booth on Mac or camera on PC. Record yourself answering practice questions within the 1 minute limit, then force yourself to watch. Are you speaking too fast? Too slow? Are you making eye contact with the camera or staring off to the side? Can you answer the question in 60 seconds? Do vocal warm-ups and face exercises before recording. Start with tongue twisters. Repeat them quickly, focusing on enunciating every syllable. Then stretch your face. Open your mouth and eyes wide, then scrunch everything inward. Repeat this several times to loosen your face. Ask trusted friends, family, or tutors for brutally honest feedback. It may sting, but it's what you need to hear. But even perfect delivery won't save you if you can't type fast enough to finish your written responses. While you're nailing your video responses, here's what tanks most students in the type section. They can't type fast enough with accuracy. We see it repeatedly in our Casper AI course feedback data. Great answers left unfinished. Responses so riddled with typos that the meaning gets lost. You have 3.5 minutes to answer 2 questions comprehensively. That's barely enough time to formulate thoughtful responses. Casper raters are trained not to penalize spelling mistakes, but if you can't get a detailed answer out fast enough, you're sunk. Here's the fix. Type quickly and accurately, no exceptions. Most typing practice apps won't help. They focus on generic words rather than the specific language you'll need for Casper, like empathy, collaboration, ethical considerations, and patient-centered care. That's why we developed a Casper-specific typing tool that tests you using the words and language you'll actually be typing on the Casper test. This resource is absolutely free and available in the description. But practicing alone won't tell you if your answers are actually good. That's where feedback becomes critical. Typing fast is one thing, performing under pressure is another. Most students practice Casper questions casually, no timer, no pressure. Then test day hits and they freeze. The clock is ticking, their mind goes blank, and suddenly they can't articulate thoughts they had no problem expressing during casual practice. You can have great if-then statements, strong typing skills, and confident delivery, but if you've never practiced under real test conditions, you won't know how you'll perform when the pressure is on. Here's what you need to do. Simulate real test conditions. Set your own timer and stick to the time limits religiously. For video responses, read or watch the scenario, set a 1-minute timer, and respond verbally. When the timer goes off, move to the next question. No do-overs. For typed responses, read or watch the scenario, set a timer for 3.5 minutes, and type your answers to both questions. When time's up, move to the next scenario. As your exam date approaches, practice at the same time you'll take the actual test. Use the same location and technology. Get comfortable with every variable. The Casper AI tool and course is the most comprehensive Casper prep resource available, and it's updated every year to match the current application cycle format. You get instant feedback on both typed and video responses, including personalized evaluation and emotion detection analysis, because it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. The course includes unlimited practice problems, which means endless opportunities to refine your skills and truly understand the nuances of the Casper exam. The course also walks you through dozens of video tutorials that outline exactly what to expect on test day, how to adequately prepare in the least amount of time, example scenarios, and what raters are looking for from your answer. Plus, it comes with a 3-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Try it at no risk, link in the description. Before we get to the practice questions, this is what most students forget to plan for. Here's the final way students sabotage themselves. They underestimate how easily distractions can derail a timed exam. Once that timer starts, every second counts. It could be a phone notification, a roommate knocking on your door, doesn't matter. Your train of thought is broken and you can't get that time back. One distraction at the wrong moment can turn a strong response into a scattered mess, and you don't get a second chance. That's why you need to eliminate distractions before test day arrives. Turn off your phone or leave it in another room. If you live with other people, tell them what Casper is and exactly when you're taking it. Life is noisy. If your roommate decides to cook lunch while you're recording a timed video response and sets off the smoke detector, that recording is ruined. Ask your parents or roommates for complete space and quiet during your exam window. Better yet, ask them to leave your home entirely for a couple of hours if possible. And don't forget about pets. The last thing you need is a dog barking while you're in the middle of a video response. You need a quiet, distraction-free environment. No exceptions. Maintaining focus is critical. Do whatever it takes to preserve it. Now, let's look at sample questions and how to answer them effectively. Here's an example of an ethical scenario. You and 3 of your friends are working on a group project. One group member, Julia, has been increasingly irritable and doesn't contribute any ideas of her own. The assignment is due in 2 days, and because of these issues, the group is behind schedule. The assignment is worth 30%, and everyone in the group receives the same grade. Next, you'll be asked 2 questions. If it's a written response, you'll have 3.5 minutes to respond to them. If it's a video response, you'll have 1 minute to respond to each. First question: what would you say to the group, and how would you discuss the situation with Julia? Raters are assessing your empathy, communication, and collaboration skills. Can you see multiple perspectives, both the frustrated group members and Julia, who may be struggling with something you don't know about? Do you approach conflict resolution diplomatically rather than taking sides? Can you communicate in a way that de-escalates tension and brings people together instead of creating division? Second question: what steps would you take to ensure a fair solution for everyone? Raters are looking for problem solving, fairness, and ethics. Can you balance competing interests, as in supporting Julia while also ensuring the team completes the assignment? Do you understand when to involve authority figures, like the professor, and how to do so transparently? Can you adapt your approach as the situation unfolds, showing flexibility rather than rigid thinking? Here's an example of a personal question. Candidates for admission have increasingly impressive experiences and accomplishments. The following questions will focus on how you see your accomplishments. First question: what is your biggest achievement to date and why? Raters are assessing your self-awareness and motivation. Can you identify what truly matters to you and articulate why? Focus on your individual impact. Say I instead of we. Show, don't tell. Instead of I worked hard, explain the specific actions you took. Second question: what did you learn from achieving that goal? Raters are looking for resilience and self-awareness. Can you reflect meaningfully on personal growth? Can you acknowledge the support systems, like mentors, family, and resources, that contributed to your success while still owning your individual effort? The students who ace Casper aren't the smartest ones in the room. They're the ones who prepare strategically and understand what raters are looking for. See where you stand right now. Grab a free practice question with detailed analysis of your performance right up here or linked in the description.